talking to him and he said, Chaz. I said, yes. He goes, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired yet? I'm like, what? He goes, I know you're not making any sales. You're 119th out of 119 salespeople. It's 100% commission. I mean, are you sick? He goes, I'm like, yeah. He said this, these 3 words changed my life. You can be.
Well, hello, and welcome to Leading with Audacious Confidence. I am your host, Alicia Couri, and with me today is Chaz Horn. And I know for those of you who are listening, don't get to see us, but Chaz is in my brand color. And if I was wearing my brand color today, we would look like twins. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart. So,
except for our voice.
Except for our voices, yes.
Right. We're practically twins.
We're practically twins. So you're going to have to check this out on YouTube to see what the joke is. So I want to tell you a little bit about Chaz because he's a fascinating person. Chaz and I have recently connected on LinkedIn and started building a really interesting business relationship because he is a master at LinkedIn and master at building relationships on LinkedIn. And so we're going to dive a little bit into that. And we're going to, of course, talk about leadership and confidence. But just a little background on Chaz. Chaz was an insecure kid whose world was influenced by a critical environment that provided little structure for him. He became homeless, and I definitely want to talk about that. But becoming homeless helped him step up and start to become the man God created him to be. He's been in sales his entire life and started a business in December of 2016, helping business owners, coaches, entrepreneurs eliminate their sales mindset and marketing challenges. So welcome to the program, Chaz Horn.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. And it's been incredible because we connected on LinkedIn and Alicia actually answered something about our challenge we had and we just started conversing and talking. And that's the great thing about social media and LinkedIn. And then I took the predictive index test, which I've taken before. And then we just, hey, let's interview one another. So I really appreciate being here and talking about audacious confidence.
Yeah, I was going to say that you interviewed me and now, quid pro quo, I'm interviewing you.
Right. This is amazing.
It's amazing because like you said, LinkedIn is a fascinating platform that you can really connect with other businesses, other business owners. And whether or not you do business together, you don't know who they know. And so it is all about networking. It's not about, well, can you help me or can you buy from me or can I buy from you? It's not all about that. It's about building solid relationships so that we can all kind of grow in this platform.
Yep. 3 things. You can network, potential client, or collaborate.
Absolutely. And we're working on some stuff to hopefully collaborate on some things. So stay tuned for that. So I want to go back a little bit. You talked about in your bio having this insecure childhood. What was that about?
I grew up, it was my parents, it was like real happy until about, I think 5. My parents went through a divorce, which a lot of people have been through a divorce. And I never wanted to communicate that I'm a victim or anything, because we aren't responsible for how we were raised, but when we're adults, we are fully responsible for correcting those mistakes.
Yeah.
As I grew up, my parents got divorced. My mom was an art teacher making like $7,000 a year. My dad didn't support us at all. He kind of disappeared. I actually thought he was dead for about 5 years. And so she worked, and she was not a happy lady. But I learned from her. She went from art teacher to starting her own business. And I was a kid, we could talk about the predictive index here maybe at a different time, but I needed structure. All kids need structure and get direction and encouragement.
Yeah.
And so in that environment with where my mom was, my dad wasn't there, there's a lot of criticalness or just no structure whatsoever. So if I got bad grades or anything like this, I was out late, I could do anything. So at one point my mom said, said to her, we were arguing as a rebellious teen. I said, I raised myself. And she said, well, you didn't do a very good job. Which is kind of like, as I look back and think of my grown kids, it's like, ouch.
Ouch. Yeah.
So I grew up and it was always thought to feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I could accomplish anything. I never thought I had any value. And no one told me that you have potential. So because of that, I just wandered all over the place. I had a burning desire to have significance because I never had anyone telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if I had a picture of me on the stage, people shouting my name, but it was just a dream.
Oh my gosh, I had that same dream.
Yeah. We talked about this before, didn't we?
Yeah, but have no idea how to get there. It's like.
Exactly right. It was so that kind of set the framework of the foundation or lack of foundation for my life.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting because you ended up homeless. You ended up living in your car.
Yeah. So I got involved with a lot of different things, people I shouldn't have been involved with. I found out I was Italian. This is how kind of backwards I grew up. We didn't talk about anything. And then I found out we were Italian. My grandfather immigrated from Italy. And I'm like, oh, because I needed identity. I didn't have any identity. I'm like, oh, Italian. So with where I was with a rebellious kid, I started hanging around the wrong type of Italian people. Mm-hmm. Okay, like mafia types. Mm-hmm. So hanging around those people, and I just got in trouble, and I was getting to the place in time where I was getting threatened, and so I had to leave where I grew up, and that was Cleveland, Ohio. So I moved to California, and I was just lost. I had a job, and my dad got me a job. We reconnected later in life, but I was just still lost. And so I ended up losing that job, being homeless. I went through all my savings. And so here I'm in Northern California. I didn't really know anyone. And I lost my house. I was broke and I was living in my car.
At least you had a car.
I did. I did have a car.
And it wasn't cold. It wasn't Cleveland, Ohio, so you didn't freeze in the cold.
Right, that's exactly right. In Northern California. So I got my first B2B sales job, and Ken Upton, my boss, soon-to-be mentor, asked me to come to his home one night for dinner, which is great because I think I had been like stealing Fig Newtons out of stores and whatnot, and I don't think I ate for a couple days. So I was like washing stuff in like gas station things. And so I got some of my stuff washed and went to his house, kind of wrinkled looking and stuff, and had dinner with him and his wife. And he pulled me into his den afterwards. And if you could picture a fire in the fireplace, kind of like a seafood master talking to his student, that's kind of the picture you get as I was talking to him. And he said, Chaz. I said, yes. He goes, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired yet? I'm like, what? He goes, I know you're not making any sales. You're 119th out of 119 salespeople. It's 100% commission. I mean, are you sick? He goes, I'm like, yeah. He said these 3 words changed my life. You can be the top salesperson in the company, but those you can be. Yeah. Because I never heard
Nobody ever encouraged you.
Right.
Said that you could.
Right. There was one exception, Mr. Donovan in 6th grade, who told me it's the smartest kid in the class. I got straight A's that year. But so fast forward to Ken Upton, I'm like, you can be, I can be top. So all of a sudden it's someone telling me you can be.
You have potential.
That's right. It's so important what we say to people and how we say it. It can change someone's life.
And that's a leader right there, because this is about leading. Because not only was he leading you, but he was also instilling that confidence in you. He was telling you that you are capable, you are able. So
yes. Yep. And he said, but I do hate those buts that are always getting in the way there. So he said, but you got to follow the system and you got to follow the process. Because I was just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
And so that was
and
in my
as a maverick,
mind.
yes, you will wing.
Yeah. So I was, yes, exactly right. So I started following the system. I started following the process. I started getting meetings. And so within 30 days, I didn't become the top salesperson, but I went from 119 to number 3 salesperson in the company and moved out of a place with automatic windows.
Yay. And you had automatic windows. It wasn't like the crank,
right? No,
crank
no, no. I had
windows.
automatic
You were living
windows.
large.
Yeah, I was living large in my car.
So I wanted to just skip forward a little bit. What is your leadership philosophy?
Yeah.
I know you're well read. You do a lot of mindset work. So what would you say, and you work with a lot of leaders, what would you say is your leadership philosophy?
Humility, transparency, authenticity, and extreme ownership.
All right.
And that was something, you talk to my team, they'll tell you.
What is extreme ownership? Like,
yeah, it's extreme. If you have a company, and there's a great book by Jocko Willink, which really influenced this. He's a Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL. It's about owning your failure. And if you're a leader and someone on your team fails or something in your business, it's not their fault, it's your fault. And so if something in my business isn't working, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I had a webinar. I didn't communicate things. Things didn't go very well. This is about a couple months ago. Afterward, I talked to 2 people that were on there from my team. And I just told them, hey guys, I screwed up. I take ownership. I didn't like that. We're going to make changes. And so that's owning your failure, not dramatizing. Oh, I can't believe I screwed up.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't lead anywhere good. It's just owning it. It's a failure.
It's
own
humility,
it and ask yourself the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
I love what you said. Humility, authenticity. There was another word in there, and extreme ownership.
Transparency.
Transparency. Yes. Transparent leadership and ownership. What does transparent leadership look like to you?
Just like I said, it's just like, guys, I failed. And I'll tell people because I struggle and have challenges on the operational side of my business. And so I just spent a lot of money to have someone help me. Actually, 2 people helped me on that.
Because details aren't your strongest suit.
No, it isn't. That's exactly right.
Yeah. That's what we learned in predictive index, your details.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you know that. We're
the details.
One and the same there.
Because you're a big picture thinker, you're a visionary. And so drilling down to the details is not the best use of your time or the best use of your mental energy.
Yep, exactly correct. Exactly correct.
Yeah. Wow. And building confidence, because this is about confidence. It's about audacious. It's about being bold and stepping out and being confident. Now that you're you're in the top 3, what did that do for your confidence, for your self-esteem, for your worth and your value?
So being number 3 is like, wow, I was making money. I was making progress. I could talk to people, and it literally changed, and it was filling that insignificance in my mind. And it was going to that place where I do have potential.
Yeah.
I can achieve something. But what happened is everywhere I worked since that time I have 7 different unique industries, over 25 years in sales. I was always the top salesperson or near the top. But what happened is I got really egotistical, the opposite of humility. Because I was putting all my hope into achievement. And the thing about achievement, if you're looking to get happiness, if you get to a certain level, it ain't going to give you happiness.
You're never going to get it.
You're either happy now or you ain't ever going to be happy.
You ain't ever going to happy.
So I learned a hard lesson that took me a long time to get there about it's all about progress. And Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. If you're making progress, whether it's in a relationship, in your business, that really helps you be happy. And the chemical in your brain, you get more, is it serotonin? I forget. That you get more of that in your brain with the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Was it tough? Because you were told, follow the system, follow the process. Was it tough picking up that phone the first few times?
oh heck yeah,
How did
it
you
was.
overcome that?
It was. I guess you get to a place where your comfort zone is so painful, and you understand there's that much more. Because I was a freaking homeless. Okay. You ever heard people talk about a temperature scale, heat and cool, and we kind of go back and forth?
Yeah.
If wow, we're really doing well, but then we think, oh, I shouldn't be just so wasting. I mean, I was like below that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, something was going to happen because I was in so much pain. I just didn't know what to happen. So those 3 words helped me, give me the confidence to get outside my comfort zone. I faced that fear because that's why I wasn't following the system, because I was afraid to. So he gave me enough of a motivation and incentive, understanding my identity a little bit as you can be.
Yeah.
That, okay, system, process, I'm going to follow this. I'm going to get there. I don't want to live like this anymore.
And were you reading books?
Was so intense. Huh?
Were you reading books back then too to help you?
Yeah, I was probably Zig Ziglar was something that I was listening to a lot. I was, what's the one book that everyone listens?
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's a Think and Grow Richer.
Right. I had a Earl Nightingale. They had cassette tapes. I had a bunch of these different things. I probably had some Tony Robbins tapes too, because I would put those cassettes in my car.
Les Brown, you got to be hungry.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, that's awesome. So you've dealt with a lot of leaders over the course of 25 years. Tell me something that, even in your leadership experience, like what was the biggest failure, either you or you've seen with a client, as far as leading others in this sales
My
process?
failure?
You can tell me yours, or if you want to talk about a client, you can, but I would love to hear yours.
Yeah, I think my biggest failure, it always happens when I go from humility to arrogance, or go from humility to ego. That usually changes how I talk to people, because it's not what we say, it's how we say it. And so if I look at a potential client as, this will be something that will bring this home a little bit. There's a point in time in my business where I had a really bad month. It was in November, several years back. I'm like, man, I teach people how to sell and my closing percentage is at 20%. What the heck is going wrong? So I'm failing, I'm owning it, and I'm asking myself the right questions. And I was listening to Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People for like the 1000th time. And I'm like, wow, I have this goal for what I want to achieve during the course of the month. So I'm making it all about me. I'm talking to them using this technique within this process so I can close them. Mm-hmm. And so what happened during that course of that month is I realized I wasn't following my own process, and I had to do my first step, my sales process and marketing is intention, the intention to serve. And so I changed for my monthly goals. I said this, it's not about I'm going to make this much money. I'm going to serve a certain amount of clients at the highest level. It still equals the same amount, right, but my focus going from me making this amount to serving a certain amount of clients each and every month, it changed everything.
The energy, the dynamics, everything, right?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. And it just took the edge off me in my conversations. And it really helped me go a lot deeper in building rapport, because my intention was to serve.
Right.
If they were a good fit, great. If they weren't a good fit, it's okay.
It's okay.
And so it wasn't about to force a square peg into a round hole.
Right.
And so that was probably my biggest failure. And still to this day, if I start going into ego, if I start getting into pride or arrogance, as opposed to into humility and being authentic.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. That's a great tip. Now I want to talk about tabs, because you are someone who is an expert on LinkedIn, on connecting on LinkedIn, using B2B sales, helping business owners really understand how to use LinkedIn to further their business. So what is TABS? And I know that's
Yes.
an acronym.
Yes. And so for everyone out there, I've been on LinkedIn over 13,000 hours. So it wasn't like, and thank you for not using the word guru. Okay. There are a lot of LinkedIn gurus out there because it's a hot platform and people are popping up every day. So you have on LinkedIn, you have 5 pillars: a short, medium, and long range strategy to attract people to you. So they see you as an authority. They know you, like you, trust you, and they tell you about a problem they have. So tabs, that's a strategy. Tabs has to identify. It's about keeping tabs on what you're doing, what's working and what isn't working. And when you understand it, if something's not working, or if it is, you can identify why within 5 minutes. So tabs is this: TABS, okay? T is for technique. Technique's not about manipulation. It's about you guiding and directing the process. This is what happens with a lot of people. Say this is the client, this is you. A lot of times you put yourself in a subservient role and it's like, oh, thank you so much for talking to me, Mrs. or Mr. prospective client. And so they don't value you. You are equals, okay? Right. But you are an authority. And if you don't guide and direct the conversation, it's going to end up in a mess for you and them. Right. And as I talked about the intention to serve, you can't serve your prospective clients at the highest level unless they become your clients. So technique is how you say things, as opposed to strategy is how you or what you say. So here's an example. You're talking to someone and you end the call and they say, oh, you know, this is what happens in typical conversations. Oh, I really appreciate that. That's really good. Could you follow up with me next Monday morning? Okay. Next Monday morning rolls around. You call them. They don't, because they forgot about you. So a technique would be making sure and how you say it to make sure you get a clear next step, time, date in each other's calendar. You know who's doing what, when. So as you end the call, the technique would be how you say it. So John, I can reach out to you Monday morning. Would it be okay if we have a time and date in our calendar to be respectful of both of our times? Is how you frame it. So we're not going back and forth. I know it's easy. Maybe something will come up.
Hate playing phone tag.
Exactly. To prevent that, would it be okay to have a time and date in the calendar? And there should be something that they are doing in the process, because it's not about you continually following up. So how you say it, that's a technique to make sure you have a time and date in the calendar so that you keep moving to the next step in the process and they take ownership on their side as well. Right. Okay? A is attitude.
Because that's, you're leading them, actually. You are.
That's exactly right. If you don't control the process and the conversation because you're the authority, it's going to end up in a mess. You have to guide and direct them. They don't know what they don't know. You have to help them get to the next step. So A is attitude, and it's really mindset, but M doesn't fit into my acronym, okay? So A/M.
TMBS doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's right. So if we don't have the right mindset, ain't nothing going to happen, right? And so there's things you can do to build your mindset on the spot, like Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, not dropping food on the ground and eating it within 5 seconds. It's if you have a thought to take action, whether it's speaking up in a meeting or calling a potential client, if you don't take that action within 5 seconds, your brain goes into protection mode and you usually won't take the action. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, act. What I do with my clients to build a mindset is I have them create a sales mission statement, which so they can clearly identify who they serve, what are the outcomes, where are they without them, and they develop this out with their why, and they read through this twice a day, and that goes into the reticular activating system. And so it rewires how you think and how you see yourself. And so that takes your mindset to a next level. Those are a couple of things with mindset. You take action, it will change your mindset. Okay. Yeah. That's the easiest thing you can do. You asked me, Alicia, about how were you able to take action after my mentor, Ken Upton, said, follow the system in the process. It was just act. And when I acted, I'm like, oh, wow. So take action.
Yes. Maybe action should be your A.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe I'll change that after this. B is behaviors. You know, old antiquated selling systems. And if people are out there listening to this or watching this, I mean, don't get mad at what I'm about to say. Okay. Cold calling is a behavior. It's an antiquated strategy, but it is a behavior. It's not as effective as it used to be. It's not as efficient. Okay. But that is an example of a behavior. Within LinkedIn, a behavior could be putting content out there. It could be reaching people within direct messaging, not spamming, reaching them based on their motivators and behaviors using emotional intelligence. It's very high converting, okay? So behaviors are those things that you do each and every day that moves the needle. Mm-hmm. Within S, which is the strategy. And so that's tabs. And if for some reason you're not scheduling appointments, you have appointments, you're not getting them to the next step, it's going to be one of more of those areas. If you're scheduling appointments, you're not getting them to the next step. It's usually like technique, like we just discussed.
Right.
You talk to, yeah, reach out to me Monday. Then all of a sudden you get into
the back and forth
case modes and are ghosting you because they don't see you as any value.
Right.
Okay. So you can identify with those tabs what's working, what's not working. If you're not reaching people, it could be the strategy. Like if you're cold calling 150 people a day and not getting through, that's a terrible strategy. So LinkedIn is a strategy. It attracts people, and then you have the right mindset within the behaviors, and you're using the techniques to continue the conversation and uncover what's going on in their world to see if you can help them.
Yeah. So you have it's actually your action plan and your diagnostic all in one.
Boom. Yes.
Yeah. Because you can keep diagnosing as you're going on. Where am I missing it? Where is this?
Exactly right. Yeah. And it takes, when I was a sales manager, and anybody who has salespeople out there, if you implement this and you help the salesperson know this, they can be self-aware and self-diagnose each and every call. If something happens, do a debriefing. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Yep. What do I need to improve so this doesn't
take ownership?
That's right. Extreme ownership. Own the failure, and then ask yourself the right questions. What can I learn from this?
Awesome. So now that we know what tabs are, and we want to jump into the 5 pillars on LinkedIn so that you can optimize your LinkedIn and really start utilizing these tabs.
Right. So think about Monday. Okay. New vocabulary word for everyone. Monday is when the weekend starts to go into the week, because on Sunday you start to think about all those problems you have. Crud. Mm-hmm. I don't cuss. It would be crap if I cuss. But you start thinking about those problems from last week because you know you're going to face those again, and they keep recurring day after day, week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, and for many businesses, unfortunately, year after year. So I talked about the sales mission statement, the value proposition. Those are key. That's part of the 5 pillars. And so on the 5 pillars, we talk about your profile. Your profile has to solve that Monday or that Sunday evening problem that they have. As they go into the week, whatever industry you're in, you should know the top 2-3 problems, and it's usually consistent across the board with what they face, with your solution. So when you identify that with your profile under your name with a value proposition, they come to your profile, you solve that problem. It's like, oh, they get me. They understand. It's important. Have a banner photo up there. I encourage, and I know, Alicia, yours is a little bit different. You can have a branded image. That's fine. To make it simple, is have a photo with you engaging with people. Okay.
But it's so important to have a banner photo.
Yes,
it exactly is. I see so many people with the blue. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
It just takes away all these little things. Were such a
sales area, though. That's your billboard.
That's exactly right. That's right. People come there. First thing they look is at your banner and then your photo
and your profile photo.
You look at your banner. It should help enforce you as an authority. So I like it if you have a picture of you engaging with other people. They did a survey, if they see a picture with you engaging with other people and they're fully engaged with you, if you can see my banner photo, they're more likely to engage with you. Your photo, I encourage everybody to take your photo and go to photofeeler.com. I think it's for $9. You can have 40 people review your photo. And if it's not above a 9 on the scale there's 3 areas, then change it. Okay. So your photo, if it's,
what's it called again? Photo what?
Photofeeler, FEELER.com.
Photofeeler.com. I'll put that in the description.
Yeah. So photofeeler.com. So those are important. Your value proposition goes there. It speaks to their Sunday night problem. Okay.
Right.
Like for me, it's about scheduling qualified meetings daily and onboarding qualified clients weekly. That speaks to my prospective clients' problems. Then your about section, tell people your experience with the numbers. How long have you been doing X? There should be a bunch of numbers up there with your experience doing X, Y, and Z. Then they have to click see more and then talk about why you do what you do. Okay. And then the process part. Make sure you have your business page set up. If you don't have your business page, it's just a gray space under experience that goes by your name and people don't think you're real.
Yeah.
Okay. Above that, featured post, you could do featured posts with clients who've gotten results. You have 3 featured posts, which you can put there so people can see what you do, who you are, experience you from someone else's perspective. And then endorsements at the bottom, make sure you have your top 3 in there, and then have some updated recommendations and keep those updated recommendations. The cool thing about LinkedIn is when they go to recommendations, they can go to the profile and they see they're a real person as opposed to watching a video. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Are these videos real?
Or a written testimonial.
Exactly right.
Like your mom had you write 5 different people testimonials.
Exactly right. And then, so that's the foundational pillar. Pillar number 2 is about direct messaging. Reach people based on them, their motivators and behavior, emotional intelligence, not spamming them. Most people reach out and they're selling. That will turn people off and they won't even watch your content. You're scaring people away.
Yeah.
You'll either attract people to you by your direct messages or you'll repel them.
And it's the immediate, like they send you a connection request and immediately start hammering you with, you know, I do this and I do that and I can do this for your business. And it's like, whoa, buddy, whoa.
Who cares? I don't care.
Do you even know if I need that? Do you even know if that's something I'm dealing with? No.
Exactly right. Some of these messages are this long. There's links and that. And some people even start selling you with a connection message. Reach people. There's demographic, which most people are used to search. Do a psychographic search. People are like, what is a psychographic search? Reach people based on their motivators and behaviors. So go to an influencer on LinkedIn, okay, where your audience follows them, and go to the comments below and you'll understand their needs. Based on their comments, you can connect with them. And I have people that are connecting rate at 75, 80%, because that's how they're doing. It's a little bit more manual, but you're connecting people with psychographic and demographics, and they know you, like you, trust you. They see your profile could have set up correctly, and then you can take them into a conversation to uncover a problem. So emotional intelligence, be about them, their motivators and behaviors based on their activity. Okay.
Right.
And then content. You got to get content out there. And some people struggle with creating content. I mean, Gary Vee talks about documenting, not creating. You get content out there, just documenting your process. A lot of people I talk to are just starting their business and they want to sound like they know it all. Remember transparency? We talked about that. Be transparent, be authentic. That connects with people in a much deeper way. And if you have people on your team, when you have a post up within the first 10 minutes, have people on your team engaging on the post, that's going to give it a boost, probably 300-400%. If you have people engaging on your post the first hour or first 10 minutes, then the next within the algorithm on LinkedIn is the next hour, then 2 hours. And by the way, 97% of the people that engage on your, or won't engage on your content, they're lurkers. And it takes about 2 months for those people to attract them into your business.
Yeah.
So you got to be consistent. Okay?
Yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people who ask, "Oh, I saw your stuff." It's like, well, you didn't like or comment. It's like, yeah, I don't like to put myself out there. I don't like to.
Exactly right. But
A
they'll
lot of
reach
people
out to you if you're consistent.
Yep. A lot of people are watching, and they
That's
might
exactly
private
right.
message you, or they might say, I see what you're doing out there, and you have no idea. No idea.
Think about this. You know how we follow up after conversations with emails and videos? If you have a hashtag, like if you go follow Go Rock This Day hashtag on LinkedIn, you'll see all my content. It's all categorized.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm talking to people, and maybe it's the timing is off, maybe they're not a good fit, they still follow my content. So they're continuing to get information from me in a valuable way. And I give information, not sales. 30% of the times I'll do like call to actions. 70% of the time, it's about giving them actual information that they can apply to their business. I have a person right now who goes, well, I'm not going to make a decision now. And I said, okay, I'm not going to force him. And we're having a conversation next Wednesday at like 11 a.m. And he's following my content. He's tagging people on the post and he's watching those. So there's probably a pretty good chance that he'll come on as a client.
He'll come on board. That's
yep.
Awesome.
And so LinkedIn groups, yes, they're still around. It's a long-term play. That's something that you can do if set up correctly. All right. Not other people's LinkedIn groups. It's about establishing it so it's just not a bunch of people promoting themselves. And then trigger events. There's like 29, there's actually more, 29 trigger events are within notifications that gives you a reason to reach out to people. They're in the news, birthday, anniversary, job change. If you reach out to them based on that special occasion and use the information, remember psychographic search from their activity, you could reach them in a meaningful way and develop a conversation if they're in your target market. Absolutely. So those are the 5 pillars in a nutshell.
That's cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So how can anyone get a hold of you, reach you if they want to?
Yeah. Well, I hope they do.
I hope so too, because this is valuable information, guys. This is gold right here.
Right. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's the place I'm most active. Or even if you just do a Google search, Chaz Horn Mastery, because my company is Mastery of B2B Sales. But do Chaz Horn on LinkedIn, connect with me and say Alicia, okay? Or 5 pillars, any of those, because I have lots of people trying to connect with me and I'm very selective with who I connect with. Reach out to me. I'm not going to pitch you. If you like to have a conversation, I'd be happy to talk with you. And if I think I can help and if you're interested, we can schedule a more in-depth discussion afterwards. Yeah,
he's a wealth of information. Even if you don't do business with him, you will get value out of even a conversation with Chaz.
Listen to him.
Yeah. What would be your top leadership tip? And then I want a confidence tip from you. If someone was really wanting to be a leader in the sales industry, what would be a tip for them?
Get around other people. Be the stupidest person in the room with those people that you communicate with. I was just talking to a guy and I said, so how did you get your start? He goes, well, I got to a place where I was the stupidest guy in the room. And let me explain this if people don't understand.
I love being the stupidest person in a room.
It's a struggle, but it's good for me. So right now with COVID and everything that's going on, I found myself that I wasn't the stupidest guy in the room. And I'm not saying that I'm someone that's so high.
We're not talking stupid, but knowledgeable on the subject matter that you want to be an expert in.
Right. I'm using that as kind of a pattern interrupt. Stupidest. What? So you get around people that know more information. They have more experience.
They're where you want to be.
Different level.
They're where you want to be.
That's right. And so a rising tide lifts all boats. You have other people at a different standard. It points out just being around them, how they talk, what they say, what they do. It's enlightening. And then from there, get around someone, a coach, a program. By the way, if you look for a coach, don't get a coach who doesn't have a coach. Okay. I have 3 coaches I'm working with right now.
Yeah.
They are priceless if you have a good coach.
Yes. If you have a good one, you got to find a good one.
Yeah. So If you want to get confident, reach out to Alicia. She can help you with that. If you want to grow and scale your business so you eliminate your strategy or your marketing and sales problems, reach out to me. Get with people, invest in yourself, invest in programs, read books, be a voracious reader, or like I do, I listen to all my books on Audible.
Yeah. I heard that you interviewed over 3,000, is it CEOs or business owners?
I surveyed.
You surveyed.
It's 4,000 now.
4,000. How do you do that?
Well, it's part of what I do in LinkedIn when I'm messaging people, depending upon where they are in the process.
Was it like what you did with me?
Yeah, exactly right. That's how we got into a conversation. So check this out. Check this out. So know you, like you, trust you, see you as an authority, told you about a problem they had. Alicia said she had her problem, it's symptom level. Her biggest problem was lack of a sales pipeline with one of the people on my team. And she answered that. So they tell you about a problem they have. They're in your target market. They see you as an authority. What happens next? You have a call, a qualifying call to talk and learn and see if you can help them.
Brilliant. Brilliant strategy. You got me. You got me on the phone.
Right. And here we are today.
And look where we are today. So
right.
I think this is all so valuable and awesome information. I'm so thankful that you came up with this strategy to interview each other. That wasn't my brainchild. That was yours. Right. and I know that this audience will get, because we are talking about how to build your leadership, and leadership is not something that is this one thing. It is a constant evolving growth process. It's a process, and getting to talk to different leaders at different levels or in different businesses, different business models, will hopefully help you in your leadership journey. If you're listening, hopefully you are listening, that you're still listening. And this is why this show is here, because we want strong, confident, purposeful leaders out there that are influencing the world in a very positive way. So thank you, Chaz.
Thank you, Alicia.
Sharing so much wonderful.
Can I say one thing real quick?
You absolutely can.
You got to check out, are you still interviewing you and your daughter on the YouTube show?
Yes, Two Sides to a Coin, yeah.
Oh man, I love that. I have a great, so you just check out her Two Sides of a Coin, is that it?
Two Sides to a Coin.
Two Sides to a Coin.
Two Sides to a Coin.
You should check that out. It's cool because you have different generations, obviously a mother and a daughter, and they just have open, real, transparent conversations. I really enjoyed that conversation with your daughter.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we didn't do one this week, but we will. Next week, we'll continue again because school started back. So trying to balance our schedules out and, navigate that. So,
right.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that because we had our own struggles that we had to go through. And now we're in a place where we can talk about it. So
that's awesome.
It's awesome. Thank you. And I'm sure if you had that opportunity to do that with your mom at the time, so much revelation would have come out of that.
Yeah.
That opportunity, because when you're in the struggle, it's hard to see the light and to see the other person's point of view. And now we get to go back and look at when we were having struggles, what she was thinking, what I was thinking, and how we could have hopefully help someone else, how you could see the other's point of view. So that's
that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, now I got to close it out. So thank you so much, Chaz. And please check out Chaz Horn. That's Horn, like the instrument. Check him out, and he has so much wonderful, not just content, not just excitement, not just because he's wearing red,
right?
But he really is an authority in and he knows what he's talking about, and he can help. If you're struggling with your sales or marketing, he can really help your business. If you're a small or medium-sized business, he can take you to the next level and turn around that sales process for you.
Most definitely.
So, absolutely. So thank you all for listening. And if you want, hit that notification, so that you can continue to get more videos like this. and hopefully help you in your leadership and your audacious confidence. And I know you have a line that you like to say, so take it away, Chaz.
Go rock this day.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Audacious confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so brave and so bold that you step into what's possible for yourself, despite your feelings, fears, or failures. I encourage you to follow, subscribe, like, and share this out with your friends. To learn more about our guests, check out some additional episodes. Go to aliciacouri.com/leading with audacious confidence. Until next time, this is Alicia Couri saying, live your life bold, brave, and step out with audacious confidence. Till next time.